Assalamu alaikum. Welcome my YouTube family in your own channel Gul Knowledge Hub, where I am going to discuss a very important topic, and the topic is how to create an English environment around you. Before diving into the video, first of all I will relate my own story. The story is that I am surrounded by Punjabi society. The most of the people around me speak Punjabi, and they are unable to speak Punjabi, they are unable to speak English language. The question arises here that how can I convince them to speak English, because they are unable to speak English. So I can't force them, I can't compel them to speak English language. You are also surrounded by some other mother tongue, some other people who can't speak English. Then the question is how to create an English environment to speak English fluently. The question is this, and the answer would be that we have to create an English environment in our own mind. Yes, here it is. Because Milton, the greatest poet of English literature, says in Paradise Lost, the masterpiece of his poetry, that your mind can create a hell out of hell and a heaven out of hell. If your mind is intact, you can do anything. And this is probably and 100% right, that if your mind is capable to do anything, you can make wonders. Because of the strong capability of your mind, you can do anything in the world. If you organize and train your mind and have a English environment in your mind, then you can speak English fluently. Here is the question: how to train and how to organize and how to create an English environment in our mind. First of all, you have to stuff it out with English thinking, with reading, with storage of knowledge. And for this you have to read a lot of storybooks, newspapers, whatever comes in front of you. You can listen podcast, newscast, apps, YouTube, English videos, in order to train your mind to speak in English and to create an English environment in the mind. When there is enough storage in your mind to speak English fluently, and when your mind is trained by learning pronunciation, accent, intonation, and where should be the sound should be rise and where should be the sound should be low, and where should be what kinds of words should be stressed and what kind of words should be unstressed and what kind of words should be kept silent. All these things, when they are structured into your mind by listening to podcasts, by listening YouTube videos, by listening different kinds of interviews and apps, and by reading different kinds of material. Now there is an environment of English in your mind. Just imagine, you have filled it with reading material, you have filled it with the accent, with pronunciation, with listening skills, and now your mind is trained. Now your mind is trained and is capable to speak it out. The next process is that you have to train your mind to organize those structures which you have learned through podcast and apps and YouTube videos, to speak it out from your mouth. Now there is enough English environment in your mind. You have trained it. Now you have to organize your mind, to organize thoughts and to collect your information according to your topic. For example, if you are talking about your hobby, you have to train your mind and you have to create an English environment in your mind. Your mind is already in the English environment now by reading all these things and by listening skills. Now just train your mind to speak it out through your mouth, whatever the subject you are going to discuss. And step by step, your mind is there is an English environment in your mind, and it doesn't matter whatever the environment you are having in your surrounding, because you have trained your mind, which is a basic thing. which is the basic thing. And you can say that if you, for example, if you are surrounded by an English environment, but your mind is not trained, you have not trained your mind, and there is not an English environment, how can you speak it out? Whether you are surrounded by an English environment. And if you are not surrounded by an English environment and you are surrounded by your mother tongue, you can easily create an English environment in your mind. Because mind is very strong and structured one, and it can learn and it can keep all information intact in its structure. When there is an English environment in your mind, you can speak fluently. Your mind can give you organized thoughts, organized sentence structures, the correct pronunciation, the correct accent. Each and everything will be provided by your English environment of mind. And then there would no difficulty to speak to a native speaker, to a principal, whatever the speaker is going to say, you have every answer to say him, and your mind would not be went blank, because there is enough storage. If you, for example, if you are stuck in any point, your mind will have a solution. Your mind will have a solution and alternative to find other ways to speak English fluently. And in this way, I have also structured my mind. I have also created an English environment in my mind. For example, in the initial stages, I was not able to speak English fluently. I went on translating the thoughts, and it was a very hard process. Where should be subject, where should be a verb, where should be object? I was only entangled in those thoughts. Then the point came to me that I have to structure, I have to create an English environment in my mind. Then I started reading different kinds of books, the books of my own interest. From starting reading the books, I started reading the signboards written on the sides of the road. I started reading newspaper. I started reading everything which came in front of me. And slowly and gradually I felt that there is enough storage in my mind. I started listening different kinds of interviews, apps, YouTube videos. And by following these steps, I was able to speak it out through my mouth, because there was an English environment in my mind. I didn't need the people around me to speak English, and it was the greatest blessing. The next question was to use language in real world, and I tried my level best. I didn't hesitate. I didn't feel shy. I was not afraid of mistakes. And by following these steps, I successfully achieved this target of speaking English fluently, because English environment was in my mind. I started thinking in English, and my mind helped me a lot, because I created an English environment in my mind. I usually used to think about my daily routine in English. I usually started thinking aloud. And all this process was due to creating an English environment in my mind. It took time, but I succeeded in that. And the best motivation is that you can also do this. And it is very easy thing, because learning a language is a process. You are not learning a subject. Treat English as a language. Don't treat it as a subject. And try to fill your mind with thoughts, with reading material, with storage of knowledge, and then structure it to pronounce words correctly. And by following these steps, there would be enough English environment in your mind, and your mind will help you to create whatever sentences you need, whatever sentence topics you need. Your mind will definitely help you, and you will not feel hesitate and shy. Be courageous enough. Mistakes are a part of human life. Human beings make mistakes. but you have to overcome this feeling of mistakes. By doing mistakes, you will have a realization that I have to stop these mistakes. And when you will have a realization of overcoming your mistakes, you will definitely succeed one day. And with this positive note, I definitely end this video. And if you like the video, kindly share and subscribe it. Thank you so much. Have a nice day.